So today we are looking at the Liya Linux 2.0. So here are the options in the boot menu. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot. So this version is a Liya Linux 2.0 Cinnamon desktop environment. So it is released like a few hours ago. So I'm running it on a virtual machine which is a VMware with 8 GB of RAM, 60 GB of hard disk, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So I already made a video of Omega Linux, which is unknown Linux distro or a new Linux distro which is available in the Linux market. So I already made a video on that. So if you want to watch that video, you can watch it. So let's get back to the video. It's going to take a few seconds to load up the desktop layout, or maybe a minute. I'm going to say how much of time it consumes in a minute. So here is the Liya Linux. So it took almost 2 minutes to load up the desktop layout. So here is the guide. Let me close that emoji, and here we have the installer. So I'm not going to install right now. So let me close this installer, and let's first change the. So instead of changing the display settings first, let's check the system monitor so we can see how much of resources it consumes. Let's open the task manager. So I didn't open any of the applications, so this is from the default. So this is the default or the resources in the beginning. So the CPU is almost under 40-50%, and RAM is almost like a 913 MB. So it's pretty much all like a lightweight. So I'm going to keep the task manager in the right side corner. So let's first change the display settings. My monitor is 1920 x 1080 with a 16:9 ratio. I'm going to apply. Keep new configuration. Let's put the task manager in the right side corner. So before that, let's check all the more details and get all the information of the task manager. So these are all the processes running right now. I'm going to place the task manager in the right side corner throughout the video so you can see all the changes throughout the video. So here is some of the settings of the display. Let's open the Brave browser. The browser you get from the Liya Linux is Brave browser. So I already made a lot of videos on Liya Linux. Not a lot of videos, maybe 1 or 2 in my channel in the previous section. So they are already available in my channel. You can check the older versions of the Liya Linux, or else you can just check this version. So let's make it bigger so you can see properly. Let's check the about browser. Let's see what version we get in the Liya Linux. The Brave browser version is 1.67.123, and it's based on Chromium, which is 126.0. And I think the latest version of Chrome browser should be maybe 127, I think. Let's close it. Let's keep all those things. Skip it. Maybe later. Uncheck this. Finish. So let's type in Liya Linux. I hope we get the link. So this is the website. I don't think this is the website, so let's search in the google.com. So I downloaded the ISO file from the DistroWatch, so that's the reason. So I'm using a VPN, so that's the reason there is a random language. So let me type in Liya Linux now. When I made previous videos, I found it in the SourceForge, but now the website should be updated. Maybe it should be in a GitHub now. So here it is, the GitLab link liya-linux.gitlab.io. So it says lightweight, powerful and user-centric. So we can see it's pretty much lightweight, not completely. Usually the lightweight Linux distro will consume maybe around 400 MB to almost 700-800 MB, but it's almost consuming more than a GB. So it's almost like a XFC desktop environment. You can call it as a lightweight or a maybe midweight. It's clearly up to you. So here is some of the information about the Liya Linux. It's pretty much hard to spell properly. So here is a gallery and they already posted my video here. I didn't know that they made a video of mine in their official website. No problem. Here is a run through. System requirements 1. It's a 4 GB DDR3 RAM 2 GHz dual core processor, a 4 GB USB drive or a empty drive, and at least 15 GB of hard disk and 25 minutes to install the operating system. It should be more or less because it depends on your PC. If you have like a good NPC, you should be very quick. For these resources, it should be maybe 25 minutes, but it should be more or less compared to your PC. So let's go to the download. So effortless performance, exceptional usability. Liya Linux Cinnamon Edition offers a sleek. So you can go through all those things by your own and download it. So here is the Cinnamon. I think this is a matte desktop environment. Yes, it is. So if you want a matte desktop environment video, I can make that. Do let me know in the comment section or just like the video. So direct download. So it will take to the SourceForge website, which I already mentioned. I already made a video, so the website also kept my video in their official website. So here are some versions I get. So here is the Cinnamon desktop environment. Here is the Cinnamon desktop environment. The file size is around 4 GB and the matte desktop environment 4.1 GB. So you can download whatever you want here. So the most downloaded is the Cinnamon desktop environment. So if you want the Liya matte desktop environment 2.0, I'll make a video on it. If you want, you can just comment in the comment section. I'm going to make a video on it. So let's click download of a Cinnamon edition. So here is the download. Let's save it. So it's almost 3.6 GB. I'm using a VPN, so that's the reason it says 1 hour. It should be more or less for you. So let's get back to the files. So I think this is Aadnya. I don't properly say Aradhya, I think, and Rihanna, the older version. So let's close the Brave browser and let's open the terminal. So CPU is almost 60-70%. Let's make it bigger. So here is some of the information. Let me type in INXI. Hit enter. Let's try to change the color so you can properly see what is going in here. Let's go to the color. Let's change it to maybe Linux console. Solarized. I hope you see the solarized color, or else just let me choose the gnome light. So let me type in INXI-small b. So I'm not going to read everything here. You can just pause the video. I don't want to make a video lengthy. You can see the CPU, graphics, network, and all the Bluetooths in the next commands. So you get all the distro information after I type the commands. So let's go with the INXI-F. Hit enter. So it is taking a second here. So let me type in INXI G. So let me type in cat:/etc/issue. Hit enter. Now let's type in neofetch. Neofetch is not pre-installed. Let me open another tab and let me type in inxi-sv8. So this is the command which will give all the distro information. You can just pause the video and read everything on your own, like audio, graphics, Bluetooth, network, whatever it's available in the distro, you get all the information here. So let me scroll it upside slowly so you can pause the video and read everything. So you got all the information here. You can try the HStop. Let's try HStop now. So here is the HStop also. The memory is almost 1.15 GB of 7.72 GB. Here is the CPU, tasks, and all those things. Let me close it. Close the terminal. Let's open the installer. So again, you get the Calamarus installer in almost every Linux distro. So there is no complicated things while installing the Linux distros. So if you don't know how to install the Linux distro on your own, you can just watch 5 to 6 videos of different channels and you should be getting an idea of how to install the Linux distro on the hard disk or a main disk or maybe virtual disk. So it's always a good option to always try in the live boot and then install in like a virtual machines and then go with the in your main PC or work PC. If you're deciding to install any random Linux distro on your main PC or work PC, it's always a good option. Go with the virtual disk first and then go with the installation to your main PC then later. So there are tutorials in my channel also of installing, but I don't really remember in which video I made installation of that specific Linux distro in the main PC or a hard disk, because I almost cover like a 3000 videos of every Linux distro. It's pretty much very hard to point out that video. So I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing. So if you want to consider subscribing, you can do that, or else you can just watch the video and check other channels. I don't have any issue with that. So here is the installer. You get the installer for Liya version 2.0. So first, the language selections. Choose your language, click on next. Choose your location. You can choose the map or you can choose the drop down menu. The system language will be set to American English, United States. You can change it according to your preference. The numbers and dates locale will set to American English, United States. You can customize according to your wish. Click on next. The keyboard model, choose your keyboard model. And the languages, you can test your keyboard here. Switch keyboard. There is a drop down menu here. Click on next. So here is the installer. Choose your hard disk or a virtual disk. If you want a single boot, you can choose the erase disk. If you want like a dual boot or anything else, you can choose the manual partitioning. So if you choose the erase disk, here are some of the options. If you want to encrypt your system, you need to provide the password for both the boxes, which should be same. And here is the bootloader location. You can do not install a bootloader location and do that later. It's clearly up to you, and you should be having an idea of what you're doing here. So don't just randomly install any operating system on your main PC or work PC. If it's on virtual machine, you can do whatever you want, because the virtual disk can be deleted and created afterwards. So you can test it or you can try it on the virtual boxes or VMware virtual machine, all those things. After choosing all those things, click on next. Here you need to provide your username, login, computer name, password, all those things. So let me quickly type in some random things. What is your name? I'm going to keep it 9to5Linux. Login. Unboxing. What is the name of the computer? I'm going to keep it like that. You can change according to your wish. The password, let me choose the simple password. It says the password is shorter than 6 characters. Let me type in 6 characters. So the password fails dictionary check. It's too simplistic because I typed in 1 2 3 4 5 6, so that's the reason. So you need to provide the best password and try to remember this password or write it down in the book, or you can save it in the phones like a note app or anything like that. So require strong password, you can check this option and you can test it here. So I'm not going to do that. Login automatically without asking the password. Use the same password for the administrator account. You can choose this or you can provide any password here. It should be same. So the password should be will be different. If the password you are trying to do should be same, then you just need to choose this option. Click on next, and here is the summary of whatever you chose in the previous installation. All the steps which you done in the previous steps will be here. So you can see all those things, and if everything is good, you can just click on install. As the website, it says 25 minutes. It should be more or less, depends on your PC. So I'm not going to install because I need to make another video, so that's the reason. Let me close this thing installer. Let's check out some of the desktop features on the taskbar. So the Cinnamon desktop environment, pretty much you get all the Cinnamon desktop environment things, but there is a customization of the Lea Linux here. About, clip it. Let's go to the file manager. Let's see what version we get here. That's about Nemo. It's 6.2.1. I guess this is the latest version, I guess. I don't properly remember that. So file system, boot, and maybe lib. You can change it to list view, compact view. You can customize and you can go through folders if you want. You can customize all those things, context menu, plugins. So you already know how to do that, so I'm just going to close it because I don't want to make a video lengthy. So let's check some of the desktop backgrounds. Let's see what are the wallpapers we get in here. So wallpapers you get is a lot here. Everything is good. The wallpapers are almost I think maybe 1080p quality. HD quality maybe. So there are some good wallpapers here. I think I'm going to go with this wallpaper, I guess. That's simple and neat. So there are a lot of folders for the wallpapers. So it's a Cinnamon desktop environment, some Cinnamon desktop environment wallpapers, and from the Lea Linux. Settings. Let's see what are the pre-installed applications we get from the Lea Linux. So most of from the Cinnamon desktop environment, and the Brave browser is added. So basically you don't get any bloatware applications, I guess. You just get some basic maybe a VPN added and the U launcher. That's it. You don't get any bloatware applications. That's pretty much good. Linux kernel, you get a 6.10. I think this is the latest version of the kernel. Cinnamon version 6.2.2. I think this is also the latest version. The hard disk, it says 72 GB. I think I put it like a 60 GB for the virtual machine. So let's close it. So there is no a bit of resource consuming application to make a stress test. The main thing about the stress test is, let me show you. So I randomly open like 15 to 20 applications like at once to see whether the distro will handle the day-to-day task. So that's the main objective of the stress test which I make in every Linux distro. So in this case there is no bit of resource consuming applications like a Blender, Inkscape or GIMP, all those things. So if we had all those applications, I open like maybe 15 to 20 applications and I will switch the applications like this, like from first to last and maybe in middle. So if we had any crashes or applications bugs, anything, so it's a good option, or it's a clearly answer you get there to whether to use that Linux distro or not. So that's the main objective of this test. So it's just for the normal user to use that Linux distro for day to day or not. So that's the main objective of that stress test. But in this case, there is no bit of resource consuming applications. They are all lightweight or maybe less resource consuming here. As you can see, there is nothing here. You don't get any bloatware applications. That's the problem here. So if we had any applications, we can open and try to make a test on that. You get the Proton VPN. You don't get the subscription. You need to buy it on your own. Let's see. Let's cancel that. So that's the thing I already said. You need to create an account, or maybe you should buy a subscription for the VPN. So on the Office suite, you get the OnlyOffice. That's at least a good. So if you are a guy, or if you are a viewer who like the Linux distro without any bloated applications or bloatware applications, you can go with this type of Linux distros. If you are a content creator, then you need to install it on your own if you want to use this Linux distro, or else you can just find any other Linux distros. I already made tons of videos of for the content creators. I already made a lot of videos. For the lightweight Linux distro viewers, you can also check my channel for the lightweight Linux distros. So I made almost every type of Linux distro, like almost 25 GB of ISO file Linux distros to almost lightweight Linux distros, all those heavy consuming resource Linux distros, and the lightweight, middleweight. I almost covered 3000 videos, so you can just check it out by searching in my channel. So let's get back to some stress test here. So let's try to open whatever the applications are available here, and try to make a test on that thing also. So these are all some less resource consuming applications. So you get a torrent, and I think that's it here. You don't have any applications to open also. Let's see the U launcher. And the CPU is almost under 25-30%. So these are all the resources running right now. So if you have like a 2 GB of RAM, I think it should be also good to run the basic applications. So if you have like a 1 GB of RAM, I think it's a good option to get at least 4 GB of RAM, or maybe the CPU of maybe i3, or i3 will be good in the 2024, because it's 2024. You need to have at least a 4 GB of RAM, and i3 with maybe 6th generation, 7th generation will be good. If you have less money, you can go with the i3 with 6th generation, and RAM almost like a 4 GB to run almost every Linux distro. So like almost you can run maybe most of the Linux distros, like 60% of Linux distro you can be running on like with 4 GB of RAM and i3. So I have like a i5 1240p, so I can run almost every Linux distro. So that's the point I'm trying to explain. It's 2024, so you need to have at least i3 with a 4 GB of RAM. So you should be good with almost 60% of every Linux distro. So these are all the resources running right now. As you can see, it's almost a less RAM when compared to other Linux distros. But we don't have opened any of the big applications here. We just opened maybe Brave, which is based on the Chromium web browser, I guess. Yeah, it is Chromium web browser. Let me show you that. Help about Brave. As you can see, it's a Chromium web browser based. So these are all the applications I opened, and it's almost 2 GB, and the CPU is under 30%. Let's keep it aside, and let's try to switch the applications now. So everything is opening instantly. We can switch all the applications instantly without a lag or anything like that. So it's pretty much good work done by the Lea Linux. There is no lag or anything like that, thanks to the Cinnamon desktop environment. So if you like a Cinnamon desktop environment, do let me know in the comment section. So about OnlyOffice, some of the viewers doesn't like Cinnamon desktop environment. If you ask me, I don't say what is my option. I go with the Linux distro. If everything is going good, whatever the desktop environment it is, I'm going to use that Linux distros. So OnlyOffice version, you should be getting the 8.1.0. Let's close it. And there is no lag or anything like that. That's pretty good work. About Pix 3.4.1. If you want to test it, you can test it on your own in the virtual machine or a live boot, disk manager or a disk usage. Let's check the extensions. So it's going to take a few seconds here. About Cheese 44.1. So you can download extensions from here if you want. So these are all some of the customization things. You can do that on your own. The VPN, you need a subscription. The browser for downloading the ISO file, I already showed in the beginning of the video. The file manager also showed. So here is the U launcher. About, preference. You can add shortcuts, extensions, help, and about. It is the hotkey to launch the U launcher. Let's make it bigger. So here are the applications. If you want, you can download the Blender, the Firefox, all those things. I can make a stress test by downloading all those things. It's going to take a lot of time. So even if we opened all the applications which are available in this Linux distro, everything was working good, everything was working fine. I didn't face any of the issues or anything like that because the known desktop environment is Cinnamon. So it's also already made a video in the previous also. So it's clearly up to you to whether to use this Linux distro or not. My final thoughts are everything is working fine. I didn't face any of the issues until now. There was no lag or anything. There was just a minor CPU difference in the beginning, but if right now everything is going good. In the beginning, the CPU went almost like a 40-50% for some reason, but everything was good after almost, I think right now it's 20 minutes of video, 20-25 minutes of video. Everything is working proper. So I didn't see any lag or anything like that. So U launcher. So it is taking a time here to open. About, Pacman, dependence files. So you can download or install from here. Here are the information. So do let me know in the comment section if you want to try it, or if you tested. Do let me know in the comment section how it is working in your PC, and let me know what your PC specs also, so people can be it will be helpful for other viewers too. So I think I'm going to end the video here because I pretty much covered everything here, all the wallpaper settings and all those things. So these are all some of the basic things you also see in the Cinnamon desktop environment. So there is nothing changed here. Same things like a privacy, extensions, startup applications. So you can customize all those things. So I showed all the features for the normal user. If you're a pro user, you doesn't need to even watch my videos because you already know how to do and how to check all those features and all those things. So notifications, again, these are all the customization things. I'm going to close this and end the video here. So at the end of the video, these are all the resources and CPU consumption and RAM consumption. So the RAM is almost like a 1.3 GB and the CPU is around we can call it like maybe under 20-25%. So these are all the resources. So if you want to check another video I already posted, which is Omega Linux, because I'll be posting 2 videos. So if you want to consider subscribing, you can subscribe, or else you can just watch my video and check other channels. I don't have any issue with that. Let's see the logout. So it should take a few seconds and we should be having our logout screen. So here is the logout screen. Cinnamon desktop, Cinnamon software rendering, Cinnamon on Wayland. So it's an experimental. So login, you can log in directly. Accessibility, date and time. So I'm going to end the video here. Again, thanks for watching. Peace out.